Hi! We getting crafty. So, on the agenda for today, it's the squares. I haven't entirely decided. So, here's, I can show you what we're working with. So. Yeah, let me put my toe on. Whoop. No immersion breaking. Not today, not today. So, let me pull up a picture of a Nihlister. So you know what I'm talking about. She's so big. So if you are new here, if it's your first time, this is the crafting project cosplay build that I'm currently in the midst of. Still very early on in the build process. So what I'm thinking, because the foam that I need for certain pieces still isn't here yet. So what we can work on, not something I would like to work on because I'd like to get other pieces done first so that I know that they're going to fit together right, but I'm kind of an expert on this, so surely it'll be fine. It'll be fine. So last crafting stream, we worked on her knees, her kneecaps. So I'm thinking maybe shins and like these little side wingy pieces that stick out, or like the little ankles and like toes, just to like get them ready for when the shoes finally get here. If they do end up getting here, unless I have to order another pair. Or something else on my list is this armored wing that she has just on one side of her shoulder. So, yeah, the shoes are still stuck in Miami. I think they're lost. I actually messaged the seller. I messaged the seller about it and I was like, hey, so the delivery has been stuck here for like 2 months now. Is there anything, like we can do about that? And that's coming from China, so English probably isn't their first language. And they were like, oh, sorry about that. I checked your order and it looks like it is in your country, so please be patient. And I'm like, that's not what I'm trying to ask. Lars, thank you for the sub. Welcome. Thank you. So, in terms of the leg and shoe pieces, this is what I got. I kind of go like in this order. So this is the shin, the front of the leg. This is the sticky outy piece here. Let me crop it. Crop it. Louder. Crop it. Louder. Okay.
Watch on YouTube, love your content and your songs make my morning before work.
Thank you so much. Potentially more coming soon. So, how do you even begin to make something like this? I actually have a bunch of VODs up on my VOD YouTube channel. It's where I post all of my hours-long streams for you to watch back if you ever want to watch a whole stream again. And I have the whole like planning and pattern making all live streamed for you to see how I made these patterns. So this is pretty much the side profile of the shin here. And I do have the layer maps so I can see exactly where these pieces start and end. Because, this little sticky outy piece is kind of covered up by the fabric flap where her crotch is. So this is kind of what this is actually higher up here. It's more like there. So that's kind of what this shape is looking like. And then this ankle part overlaps a tiny bit, kind of like that. And then this is the toe.
Love the stream.
Thank you. Razzleguard with the tier 3 resub. Thank you for 6 months. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And Brendel, thank you. Thank you for the prime. Thank you. Sorry. Black under the legs? Yeah, I'm probably gonna sew my own modified bodysuit because Nihlister. Hold on, let me pop the whole image in here again. So Nihlister has like the bodysuit, kind of like a one-piece swimsuit kind of number, but then you can also see like around her hips and thighs, like right in here, where you see my hand flailing around. It's like cutouts of it's like pants that are kind of cut out in a couple spots. And then you can see like between the knees and the calf shin armor right here, there's some like patterned material in there also. So that is all gonna be attached most likely. It'll also help keep the armor protected if I have a little bodysuit on underneath it. Will it be warm? Yes, but it'll be easier to clean. Yeah, strategic bodysuit rips, exactly. Material for the fabrication, mostly foam. I don't know, I haven't picked out fabrics yet. But for the tabard, crotch flap, groin cover, that is going to be custom printed fabric. I started working on a design in Illustrator to get it that exact pattern. So I'm going to have to get that custom printed on fabric because there's diamonds and hexagons and dots and stripes and a gradient, and it's crazy. It's kind of crazy. So definitely going to be a process. But yeah, so that's the leg pieces I have. I think I'm leaning a little bit more towards the leg, but we'll see. We'll see. The other option for today is the wing. Let me pull this back up. Choom! Same material the esports t-shirts use. Honestly, I just go to the fabric store and I just like feel a bunch of different fabrics, and whichever one I like the feel of the most I get. So, the wing. This is what the entire thing with all of the pieces overlapping looks like. Barely even fits in frame. So a lot of pieces connecting. So if we take this and separate them, we have the piece that actually holds all of the wing segments on. And then we got the wing pieces in all different sizes. So we got those, and the small one goes here, and the slightly larger one goes down here. So it's like that. All the pieces are separated. The only issue, I have this prepared. So there is a website that shows the chibi 3D model renders called NikkeiDB. This is our little chibi Nihlister. Let me just slide this over a little. Oh, you can still see it. So, so you can see this tiny little wing, right? In 3 dimensions. Obviously, it's not super accurate because it's a chibi model. But you can at least see it in a 3D space. And if we go way back here, her body's in a different position. Here, let me go to a different animation. Just her idle animation. Let's keep it looping. If we can go. Come on. Show me. Show me the goods. Aha. You see it right there? It like extends further back than it appears to in the live 2D layer map. So what I mean by that, so every Nikke in the game is made with live 2D art, which is very similar to what a VTuber is made with, and a layer map is every single one of the live 2D layers split up. So this is what that looks like. So let me just crop the one piece I need. One piece?
Let's
there
go
it is. I
on
see it.
TO crafting stream.
I see it.
Well, that works too. Cinder 6 waves, Cinder 6 comfy.
Monkey. So this, give or take a couple extra pieces from the layer map. But this is the underneath structure of her wings, which you can't really see down here because it's all covered by the armored pieces of like the, I don't know, feathers of the wing. I don't know. So this is what the actual art shows. But then we go to the 3D model and it extends further back, probably because it's more supported. And I think I want it to be a longer support when I do actually, hold on, where is that video? Or capture. There it is. So you can see this is a terrible angle. I want to like, I want to like move it. Perfect. Perfect. But you see how it kind of looks a little bit longer. It kind of looks a tiny bit longer. So I think I'd want to potentially extend this. But I'm not sure by how much at this point yet. I'm still figuring that out. So I might. I've been meaning to get a full-length mirror down here. Because usually when I work on cosplay stuff, in the past it's been at my parents' house. And they have a room with a full-length mirror. And I like to stand in front of it, step, a little bit further back. So I can see what it would look like on me. Like in terms of proportions, to get the proportions right. But I think even if I don't make this support just yet, I can still at least do the outer shells of these little flappy wings. But they aren't exactly flat, which I recently discovered, because if we rotate this, you can kind of see. Let me just nudge. You can kind of see the three-dimensionality, and it's like flat at the top. It's flat. So I'm not sure if I want to take like two of the same halves and connect them with a strip, or if I want to extend my pattern to accommodate a curve. If I were to just glue them together like that. But that's why we have an in-between step that I like to use, which is the cardstock. Not cardstock, poster board. So it's very similar. It's a stiff paper. So I think Maybe I'll just start out with the little one first. I'm prepared. Well, I like to go in with a bit of a plan. Even though my plan A isn't working out today, I at least had a plan B for the stream today. So, this is just like poster paper, poster board paper. So, let me go grab another pattern to show you guys what I mean. Also, because I have so many pieces and patterns cut up at this point, I keep them all in little plastic baggies. Not little ones, like the gallon bags. Okay. So, this pattern, this is of the kneecap that I worked on last crafting stream. So, the original artwork for the kneecap was this long. But because I didn't want any visible seams in the front, I decided to extend this middle piece to kind of get it to stick out a little bit more. So when it wraps around my knee, you know, there's more of a curve to it, right? And so what I'm thinking with these wing pieces, right, if this is my little wing curving around, because the wings have a bit of a curve on the top, right? So what I'm figuring out right now is whether or not to just take two pieces and connect them at the top and just curve them later, which means I have to add a little bit of extra material like I did here, right? Or if I want to take one side, take the other side, pretend these are both the same piece, okay? And cut out a rectangular strip that goes along the top. So I don't know if that's what I want to do, because these look very rectangular. Like, see how the tops are very flat and angled? So I'm not sure if I want to do that, because I think it's just the geometric shapes that are in the low poly model that's really showing that. That would be the easiest solution in this point in time, but long term it'll give me way more work because I'd have to fill in all those seams. So I think what I'm going to end up doing is just extending these and having it curve around. I think. But first things first, we need to make our patterns for the thing. We're working on the wings. It's so hard to tell what that is with the dragon neck there. Let me see if I can get another image that might look clearer. I think I have one.
Boop Charlie's nose. Boop. Okay, I will stop now.
Oh wait, what is this one?
Sorry for interrupting class Cinder 6 Pyro. Oh no, I will take notes now. Cinder 6 noted.
Still not really a good one. Let me try. Maybe one of these? It's still really blocked by the dragon.
Hey Cinder, have you listened to Kingslayer by Bring Me the Horizon? If not, I recommend it.
We just got a symphonic metal playlist playing right now. Yeah, there really isn't a very clear image of it. All right, well maybe is this one? Oh, it's like the same. It's pretty much the same. It's like there's no shot of her without the without the big dragons in the way. That's the under support. I don't need that anymore. It's like I can't. Yeah, it's kind of hard to cut that out. But that's what I'm working on right now. Here, let me just hide it for now because it's taking up a lot of space. Eastern Abyss, thank you for 6 months. Phoenix Shadow, thank you for the tier 1. Welcome. Thank you, thank you. Okay, so normally when you want to make a perfectly symmetrical pattern, you will trace one side and then flip it over on the same line, trace it again, and then you can just fold it. But because we're working with foam and not just this thin paper, we have to take into account the thickness of the foam. I'm probably going to use 6mm foam for these. Hold on. We'll get to the foam when we get there. I was like, I swear to God, if it's going to be 8mm foam. That's the foam I do not currently have that I desperately need. Chayway, thank you for 12 months. Tempestate, thank you for 15 months. Thank you so much. Striker Wolf, thank you for the 4 months. Thank you, guys. How the wing would connect to the back. So, because the chibi model just shows it like floating on her back, and the actual dragon cannons are also floating because they literally do not touch her back here. What I'm going to do is just connect this back support piece into this giant backpack that has the dragon heads on it. So it's all just going to be connected, and I'm just going to slide everything on like a backpack. Yep. I know, stupid customs. Like, God damn it. Why? Why you gotta do me dirty like that? Also, the music is fixed today. It is fixed. I'll do it this way. Let me tape this down so it doesn't slide around. Thank you for the flowers. I don't know what it's gonna weigh. I won't know for quite some time. Hopefully, not too much. It is all going to be made out of foam, but it is high density foam, so it is more rigid, which also makes it, I think, a tiny bit heavier. Yeah, if something's more dense, then it usually has more weight. I think that's how science works. Hey, Crunchy! We are currently crafting Nihlister's wangs. No, that's her leg. Wang! It's so hard to tell, like, do I want her titty in frame? It's like you can barely tell what's going on with all the fucking spikes. Peekaboo! There she is. And so the reason for making these secondary paper patterns is because when you make your first blueprint, it's hard to visualize, like on the computer, at least for me, how big to make the pattern because I don't have it physically in front of me. But I do use it as like a guide, like I'm doing right now, because I know that this is the right size. But I need to know the right size when it's wrapped around a 3D space. So, a lot of this is, I'm gonna be honest, just trial and error. But honestly, that's most of cosplay. That's most of making anything that you've never made before. You know, I've never made two-headed dragon waifu armor. So, there's a first time for everything. Arts and crafts be like that. Exactly. Exactly. So now, the thing to figure out, because I still want these to reach the same point, so I might need to make the angles wider so that can happen. But I do want to take into account the thickness of the foam. Probably there. And it's okay if you need to make more than one of these little mock-ups, little test pieces. Your current craft is very experimental. What you making? You know I gotta ask. I'm like, this is only gonna be like something a cosplayer can relate to. But I was just about to make the comparison. I was gonna say I'm acting like one of the ladies at Joann's. Joann's is a really popular craft store and fabric chain, and typically it's like you know, nice little old ladies working there because they like to sew, you know, and usually when you go up to the cutting counter to get your fabric cut, they're like, "Oh, what you making?" Oh, just a dress. Just a dress. It's always so awkward. It's like, what am I supposed to do? Show this old lady, this sweet little grandma, this picture of a big, boobily, breastily woman? I'd feel so bad. Yes! True. Honestly, sometimes, like, grannies are kind of freaky. Sometimes they're pretty chill with it. What?
Getting my drink ready in my Sinder cup.
Oh. Yay! All right. Just a rough pattern. So now what I'm gonna do, okay. Thought it was a train? I thought it was a spray bottle. I thought I was getting sprayed. So I'm just gonna do a little rough cut first. Snip. Snip, snip, snip. Put that to the side. There's a whole cheat sheet for the sounds, yeah. All right, so I want these bottom ones to connect here. And the top ones to connect about here. I might need to put a couple extra cuts to get that sharp angle in. But we'll see, we'll see. I like to do little tests. So I'm going to put a notch in the middle here. That way I can line up these. And another thing that you can do is if you're cutting out a perfectly symmetrical pattern, you can actually fold it on your like center crease and then get an exact symmetrical pattern, which is what I'm going to do. And a useful tool for this is a metal ruler. Metal rulers are game changers. And fold. Fold, fold. Now this piece isn't going to be like like a pointed edge. It's going to be more round. But just for the sake of symmetry, I do like to fold it on the crease. Honestly, I free-handed that cut, and that's pretty damn close. Damn. Okay. It isn't quite symmetrical. My fold is a little off. Hold on. Just gotta go that way. Cinnamon tree. Yes. Yeah, I gotta cut it on this side. Come here. Cooperate. Okay. Move that off. Ash, thank you for 39 months. Holy moly. Thank you so much. Thank you. Hope you're doing good. Okay. So this is a pretty funky shape now.
Actually, the spray sound goes like this.
Stop that. Stop it. Just kind of bending and shaping this paper a little more. Just a little more. Because it is going to have a little bit more of a curve. And I think this, we're gonna
Cinder.
need a little bit extra
I normally buy
foam.
my cosplays, but would like to get into crafting my own.
Nice!
Where would you
You did a
recommend
really
starting?
good job.
By the way, your hands are as cute as you.
No! Oh god, they're hideous. Blech. 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 I guess I'm not that cute then. The best place to start and hardest place to start is honestly figuring out what you want to cosplay. You gotta definitely pick a character you are passionate about and you can connect with, because if you don't pick a character like that, you're gonna get really burnt out really fast trying to make it yourself, because you don't have that motivation getting you through the project, because it's probably gonna be, you know, stressful and frustrating trying to figure something out on your own. But your love for the character is what will get you through it. Trust. Okay, let me pause. Let me do this. Yeah. Let's go. This way. Close enough. Right, it's kind of curvy. So I think this is gonna have to be a dart. And this is you guys learning sewing terms. Yay! So when you sew something, in order to sew around more of a curved shape, I know too much about that. An option to sew around the curves is to add what's called darts. And so you see how this shape doesn't continue forward into a point, because the original shape here is angled back, right? It's angled like this. So if I were to have continued to make this into a point, this wouldn't have had the right angle here. It would have just continued straight. And that's not what we want. So instead, we cut out this little notch, which forms a dart, because once these two notch pieces are attached together, oh my goodness, it's curving. Oh my goodness, it's curving. It's making a curve. It's making a curve. No weighing. So we will have a tiny little seam there, but it's necessary in order to get this profile. So to demonstrate that, let me tape it together. An open note test. There's no test. It's just a very common technique used in sewing, because then you can sew down a dart and then it wraps around, curves a little bit easier. So now that's taped, and now you can see that we have a bit of a curve built into our shape now. That kind of curves this way. It's still very much angular, but it's necessary for us to get this shape in our profile. And now, our little pattern, you can kind of see, slow zoom, slow zoom. This software is so hard to get like clear angles. I like can't move her left and right. I can only zoom in and zoom out. Where'd she go? Where'd she go? Nihlister? Where'd you go? Oh, there she is. Okay. Okay. So I did the very bottommost spike. So the one on the very, very, very bottom. You kind of see? You kind of see it. And when you rotate it, you know, it's got that little curve. I might want to widen it a tiny bit. Just because this right here, it looks like it should be a little bit wider. Because if I stretch this out to make it wider, it no longer has the same side profile. It becomes more squashed, and it doesn't
Don't forget to use
match
code
up
Sinder
completely.
for 10% off on Gamersop.
So that's why we wanted to add a little bit of extra space in between here, so that way we could curve this around. But if you only trace exactly up to the line, like here, then it's only really going to work if you leave it flat and smushed, which can work for certain shapes, but because we want this to be opened up a little bit more to have more of this rounded curve, like you see here on my mouse circling, so it's going to be more rounded like that, which means we need to extend the centerpiece a little bit more. And I did extend it, but I did not fold it on the halfway mark as accurately as I thought I did. So we're going to redo it, and it's okay, because if I were to make this out of foam and it was a little too small like it is right now, I would have had to make that completely again out of foam and then waste all that foam. But now I've got some paper that I can just recycle, and it's much cheaper than using up foam. Terrachilla, thank you for the 8 months. Thank you so much. Domino, thank you for the 7 months. I really appreciate it. How do I make my chat look like that on my screen? It's custom coded. So I commissioned the graphics from someone who does graphic design, and then I commissioned someone who knows how to do the coding for the actual like chat, the Twitch chat, to put the graphics into the code. Make the chat look like Shrek. I mean, if you wanted to get the assets for it and code it that way, sure. Sure. Okay. So, we will make a second pattern. That should be plenty of space. Oh, let me hide her. She's taking up some room. Yeah, whatever you dream, you can make it real. settle for Shrek. Shrek isn't that bad of an option. You can have both. You can have whatever your heart desires. So long as either you can make it or get it commissioned, really. Yeah, the dream only dies when you stop dreaming. Them some deep words. Also, like I was saying, we definitely want to make sure the center, like, the extra added space in the middle of these two halves also is going to be enough to take into account the foam thickness. Because the thicker the foam is, the more space it takes up to bend it. Because it won't be able to bend as sharply as the paper does because the paper is super thin. Peelies. Peel, 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 peel. Young I Sing, thank you for 8 months. Thank you. Just filling in the lines. Usually, it really depends. If you're doing more detailed work, usually 2, 4, maybe 6. And then for main armor pieces, anywhere from 6 to 10. But I think these are going to be 6 millimeters. I think. Maybe 8, but that might be pushing it. Why clear tape and not masking tape? Because it's just what I have. It's just what I got laying around. Okay. Gotta make a nice big gap. So I can cut it down later if I need to. I'm just always hesitant on making things too big. So I'm like, am I sure? Am I sure that's not gonna look too crazy? But then again, you know, you look at the big picture and it's kind of like, oh yeah, that is actually quite large. It's like the fucking length of her arm. Like her upper arm. Just that tiny little bottom piece that we're working on. So it's kind of big. Yeah. Size doesn't matter, but it's kind of big. But then, you know, just because the pattern looks like it's the same size, the foam is going to make the pattern much thicker. So it's going to appear larger. And then especially if you're making armor that sits on the body, you know, that armor is sitting 6, 8, 10 inches off your body. So it's going to also add bulk depending on how thick your foam is that you're using. Why am I so pale? I don't know. Why are you a Twitch chatter? I don't know. Why are you asking? Focus on the crafting! I'm gonna quiz you. I'm gonna start handing out quizzes. You're not paying attention. Ask silly question, get silly answer. Okay. Mark the top. Don't be the guy to give us a quiz. It's like that one kid in class that asks, what's the homework? Right before class ends. You know, we've all had that guy. Okay, let me try drawing a center point. a clear ruler would be better for this, methinks. Okay, that's pretty, that's not too bad. That's pretty solid. And then if I fold it on this side of the line, then the slightly extra bulk. Wait a second. No. Because I know at one point I had a metal ruler without the cork on it, but I think I got rid of it because it was kind of destroyed. Quiet Crazy Bear, thank you for 17 months. Unknown Human, thank you for the 6 months. D1 Blizzard, thank you for 2 months. Okay. Folding. Oh, that's beautiful. Right on the line. Okay. So now I'm flipping it the other way so I can actually see where I need to cut on this paper. And so I'm not cutting on this line here because, hold on, let me darken it a little bit. I drew a line across the bottom. And the reason for that is to mark where the bottom of this shape is. Because if I were to cut this at the same angle, it would extend much longer than what it actually should be. And we want to keep this at the same size. So I marked the bottom there because I'm actually going to be changing this angle a little bit to still keep it the same size. So I'm going to mark where the middle is with the pen. And then that way I can line up the edge of this fold to the edge that I initially traced it on to get our new angle. So we cut off a little bit of the sides, just like a little bit. But that way it's not going to end up being too long because we don't want it to be too big. We want it to be just right. Just the right size. Just explaining why I do the things I do. Snip. 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 Okay, so now I did the same thing, but I'm realizing I want to cut in here anyway. So I actually want to mark the middle point in here because this is the part that dips down. This is our dart. Remember when I taught you about darts? No? Oh, well, rip me. So I'm going to do the same thing as connect the top to the cut down the center. And now we have a modified version of our first pattern. See, it's a little bit wider now, but we didn't scale it up completely. It is still exactly the same height because we don't want to make it overall larger to accommodate the thickness. We just want it to be wider. And that's something that can be very easy to do on accident, is to just make your whole piece bigger and then you end up with pieces that are way too oversized and don't fit together as accurately. So that's why I made those cuts, because, right, it's not the same angle from here to here, but when you fold it over and you have that extra little bit of wiggle room, because some of this angle is going to be hidden and folded, it's going to give the illusion that it's the same angle because it's going to be a little more rounded because it's going to be around a curve. I'm trying to just roll the foam around my fingers in here really quick, just to give it a bit of a curve. Progress time lapse after the full design is done? Probably not. Because, that would be... I don't know. I think it depends on how Kaiser feels, because Kaiser's my editor, and I don't want to give him any daunting projects like that. But you see, now, these are approximately the same size, right? From directly sideways. But this one is flat, and this one has the curve in it! Whoa, it's like magic! Check it out. Also, I'm holding this one up a little higher. But yeah, it's like the same, you know, angles and cuts, but I have to pinch this one in to get, you know, this angle, and this one I can just hold at the curve. Yo! Pretty cool, right? And all we did was add a little bit of extra space in between the two halves of our pattern. So you can see this white paper is our original pattern, and it only covers, you know, part of the edges. And then the rest is this channel in the middle. And that's how you get a perfectly symmetrical pattern piece that curves around a surface, but still retains the same dimensions as our flat blueprint image. So this is why I make it out of paper first. Because you have, you know, I don't always make my patterns perfectly the first time anyway. So it's a really good example of seeing how to improve your patterns and make them look better. And if you don't get the pattern right on the first or second try, you don't have to settle for an imperfect pattern. You know, you can always recycle the paper if you're using paper as the pattern. I just use a thicker paper. Like I said, it's the kind of stuff that you can get at, like at a dollar store. It's just the stuff that you use for projects in class. Like poster board, you know? So let me tape our little dart together really quick. Yeah, I always like to work with affordable materials if I can help it. Obviously, there's going to be some exceptions. But it really depends on what you want to make, how you want to make it, how durable you want it to be. So there's our dart. You can see that it still has that curve because it's a dart and darts make curves, but it still retains the same silhouette, or yeah, I guess silhouette, the same shape as our initial pattern, but now it has the curve in it. Oh, ba 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 ba. And even these angles are still pretty similar because of the curve. It's a little bit shallower. So I could always go back in and just adjust that a tiny bit, which I think I'm going to do. Let me find my middle fold. Cardboard time. You know, I've said this before and I will say it again. One of my highest winning awards in a cosplay competition was won with a costume that was made primarily out of cardboard. You hear Dart, you think of the sports? Yeah. Cheaper materials or go spend a little more, make a cosplay more realistic? Yeah, it really, really depends. But honestly, the paint job at the end of the day is what's going to sell it. Okay, so I cut a little bit of a sharper angle into it. So now... well, you know what? think I might have done that wrong. Yeah, it's more of like a... Not as steep. Oh, it's like a tiny little thing. Okay, now I think it's too big. I mean, I still think it looks okay. Because especially if it's rounded. Oh, it's still folded. Hold on, let me round it out. It'll probably look better rounded. Oh yeah, that's better. Yeah, that's better. Nice. Still looks like a tiny little... It's not as tiny because we had to make it wider. So if we wanted to have this much of a narrow taper, we would actually have to bring this in a little sharper. So we would have to cut this wider and kind of have the cut taper as we go down. But I don't want to do that because I still want to keep the same lines here. It's a tiny bit shorter. But, you know, like I said, with the thickness of the foam, it's going to appear bigger. Right now, I'm making Nihlister's wings. That's her foot. Her wings! So the piece I'm working on right now is the lowest portion. So the one that's like deep in here. The one that's closest to her like upper arm. So that's this piece. You see how like there's this little like triangular shape embedded in there? The tiny little detail. So I just made this pattern out of it. In fact, it almost looks like the dart is a little too wide. It's too wide of a curve. She just has one wing. It's not like a wing, it's more of like a decorative armor piece. But I think, because I'm a perfectionist, let me untape this. If I were to, let me just use some scrap pieces here. So pretty much right now what I'm doing is I'm taping a piece to kind of act as like a little fix to fill in that piece I cut out. However, it's just going to act as a dart at a different angle. So because this dart is really, really wide, I'm gonna make one that's not as wide. I think that'll look a little bit better. Josh, thank you for the 2 gift subs. Thank you so much. Yeah. It's not as curved, and it's more of that point. So now I think what I'm gonna do I'm only gonna do this on one side so I can compare them. Okay. There's one. So I'm cutting it at the angles that'll make it a little more similar to our original pattern, but I don't think it's necessary. So I'm just seeing what it would look like. So now it's a little bit more similar to the shapes we had here. My goodness. Can you move over a little, please? She's taking up so much of my space. So the angles are a little more accurate. This has more of that taper. This has more of a taper, so it's not as chunky. Doesn't stick out as far like it did before. But it's still pretty close. And we still have the curve on it, like the 3D model. Because this is really the only 3D reference that we have. You know, this right here. This one. It's kind of hard to tell. But you see it's got that curve in it. She got that curve in her. Splanky. Very spiky. Oh, yeah. Hold on. Okay. Oh, yeah. There we go. That seems pretty good. So I'm just going to mirror those cuts that I made earlier. You can see I just kind of cut a tiny little taper off at the top there. And then a tiny little taper at the bottom. It's not that much, but sometimes little shaping can still make a difference. And, you know, it's not going to look exact from your 2D pattern. Because obviously it's trying to fit around a 3D shape. But that is what we got for this little bottom piece. And of course it still might change a little bit, give or take, with the thickness of the foam. But you can actually see, if I enhance this a little bit, you can see the edges
Was nice to see
of the
you at
foam and like how
Japan.
thick it is.
Always wanted to do a meet and greet with you. I was the moan that ran long and talked
Let's
about your
go.
ASMR.
I appreciate you coming to see me. I hope you're having a good weekend. You learned calculus for the curves. Couldn't be me. Like, especially this one at the bottom here. That one, the one we were just working on, right? You can see on the edge.
Hey Cinder,
There's like
if you want a good board
three-dimensionality.
game when you are with your
It's
friends or family,
pretty
I would
thick.
recommend The Night Cage.
I'm not much of a board game kind of person, to be honest. I like video games. Yeah, we're doing arts and crafts. So that was just one out of 4 segments that we get to make. But each of them are pretty much a similar process. Luckily. You get bored when you play board games? I know. I feel that too. And then, because we still have this pattern, what I can do... I might just do it right now. So, I take a little blade and I cut out this little tiny piece in here.
At chapter 4 of Black Myth Monkey, and I just beat the hardest boss I've come across so far.
No spoilers!
All I'll say is I have PTSD from scorpions now. Anyways,
Great,
hope
now
the
I know there's a
cosplay
fucking
crafting is going
scorpion
well.
boss.
It looks really good so
Thanks
far.
a lot! Thanks for the spoiler! Oh my goodness! I was thinking about playing Wukong today. But I don't know if I want to stream it. I don't know. I feel like everybody who's into it has already kind of seen everything. And I'm just not sure if anyone would really be interested. Maybe. I was having a lot of fun with it. Okay. Super careful. Meticulous cutting. So careful. surgical precision. Haven't watched anyone else's playthrough. Wait, really? We will see. I'm still working on the schedule for next week. I have it mostly figured out, but there's just like one day that's kind of like up in the air, free day. Just gonna put this off to the side. Hope I don't poke myself. All right, and then I'm just gonna do it on this pattern for demonstration purposes, but normally I would just put this on the actual foam piece. We got and you just trace the inside and boom. We know exactly where to cut out that hole now to make the details on the foam. Bada bing, bada boom, super easy. And then we can do the same thing on the other side to make it perfectly symmetrical. Why did I pick Nihlister? Because when I looked at her design, it was when I was playing Nikke for the first time and I was going through the list of the girls. And sometimes as a cosplayer, you will get inspired. You have like this spark that happens inside you. And because I started streaming and doing ASMR content and working a lot online, I didn't really have as much time to make cosplays as often or recently as I had in the past. So it had been a while since I had inspiration to make something completely from scratch and complex, because nothing really spoke to me. I wasn't really watching a whole lot of anime or playing games that had designs that I was really passionate about until I saw Nihlister. And I literally looked at her. She's exactly the kind of type of cosplay that I would enjoy making, because I like larger than life. I like the wow factor. I like, you know, that fucking badass like design work. And I had that spark, but I kind of knew deep down that I would never get the chance to actually make her because... God damn! No, I think I got that part covered. But it was because I didn't have as much time to work on anything but streaming, because I've been so busy with my streams, right? And I was a little upset about it for a while until I realized, wait a minute, I can just stream my cosplay stuff. So I'm really, really happy that I have the opportunity to actually make it. Because, you know, I had that spark that I was like, oh my God, I'd love to make something like this. And I just never thought it would happen. But it happened. I'm just pulling up a photo for myself to like super mega enhance. Just so I can see. Okay. You're happy you learned so much? Hell yeah. Oh wait, actually you're making... I think I saw you post that you made like a sleeveless sweater that you like sewed the edges of. Was that you? Was that you? Was that you? I might have that wrong. Yeah! Dude, huge props to you, because sewing that kind of stretch, like knit fabric is a nightmare. So, huge props to you. Huge. Actually, my friend Percy Love, the cosplayer who made the cosplays of me for me, she's working on another Final Fantasy character. I don't remember the name. But she is knitting like from scratch. Like she's actually physically knitting the sweater that she wears. Yeah, Final Fantasy. I'm trying to think. Hold on. Oh, wait. I got my phone. Do I have my... Oh, there's my phone. I'm gonna look it up really quick. Really quick. Pause champ, pause champ. Pausing and champing. She's making... Yuffie. Yuffie. Yeah. Yuffie. And then I think she's also making another one for her husband. They're like a power duo. Yeah, I think from the Final Fantasy remake. Rebirth. From Rebirth. Oh my goodness, what's his name? I'm not a Final Fantasy expert. Oh my goodness, what's his name? You guys are gonna absolutely love it. Oh, I don't remember his name. Gilgamesh? No. He's like one of the silly, quirky characters. He's got like white and red face paint markings from, I think, the original game. Oh, that is Gilgamesh. That's Gilgamesh. Oh, okay. He's kind of like wacky and goofy, and he's got like silly pants. Yeah. So I think she's making the new version of him with like multiple arms and stuff. So I think that's what she's gonna be making for Nick. Yeah. So I'm gonna do the next smallest one just to kind of start on a smaller scale. And this one is more complicated because it kind of has this indent in it. So I think... Damn, maybe the geometry was the right way to go. Hold on, look. Why is this so complicated? Okay, so the smaller little floaty one. Trying to get a good angle. Let me expand this a little. So this one right here. It's like very flat at the top. Because I think this piece here is kind of like a separate piece that gets stuck in. Expanding. But like, the other ones look like they have curves in them. What do I want to do? I'm thinking. Shadow Dragon, thank you for 15 months. Thank you. Okay, back to thinking. Hold on. Let me have some Gamer Subs caffeine free. I was gonna say Gamer Subs energy, but no, this is caffeine free. It's still energy for the brain. I think... So I could do this a slightly different way. Because this piece is so small, what I could do... Which spike are we looking at? This one. This one. The smaller one with the piece of red on it. So... Yeah, some look flat and some look curved. Exactly. So what I'm thinking for this one... Because, like, the top and the bottom ones... See, like, right here on the top? And then the one on the bottom? The one on the bottom is the one we just made. Because that one has a curve. The one on the top looks like it has a curve. But these ones with the red pieces in them... It looks like... They're flat. Could be a bevel. Here's what I'm thinking. I might be able to, like, hack my way around this one. Instead of making a pattern like the last one, what I could do is just layer a bunch of different pieces of foam that I cut out. And just make it like a solid block of foam. Because they're kind of filled in at the bottom anyway. So what I was going to do with that. So I got this pattern, right? For the bottommost wing. I was literally just going to put like an extra piece of foam or something on the bottom. So that way it would kind of fit to the bottom in here. So that way you wouldn't see any of this on the inside. And it would just kind of look like a geometric shape. And then it would be open back here for it to connect to the support harness. But this one, because it's so tiny, and because I think I'm going to end up cutting this out, because it looks like a smaller piece that's kind of just like glued in on top, because there's a bit of a bevel around here, like right before this piece gets glued in. So what I could do is just trace a bunch of pieces of foam, kind of like what I did here, and just make it a block. Because then all the sides would be covered, you know, like the bottom in here. So all sides will be covered, and then I can just, you know, glue in this tiny little piece later. Time for science. All right, then why don't we just cut out some foam? I'm the pro here. Listen, just because I have done this many times and have won many awards doing so on a very high level, does not mean I really know what I'm doing with every single build. If I've built a Nihlister cosplay before, yeah, I know exactly what I'm doing. But honestly, the really interesting, fun part about cosplay is the trial and error and the creativity to accomplish what literally, physically, should not be able to exist in the real world. So, let me get my foam. Okay, this is 6mm foam. What are we thinking? What are we thinking? Is that a good thickness? For the wings? I think that's pretty solid. It's like any problem solving. You have to experience how it's Time to cook and figure shit out. Yeah. I think so. I think. Oh! Nighthawk with the 5 tier 3 gifted subs. Holy shit. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. That's crazy. I really appreciate that. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, so I'm also looking at the piece that's shaped like this. That's like pointed like at the bottom. At the very, very bottom of the wings. I think it kind of looks like that thick. Plus, I am going to be beveling the sides a little. Dirty down with the 50 gift subs! Huh? Thank you so much! Thank you! Thank you, thank you! Oh my god, I really appreciate that. Thank you so much! That's so many subbies! Oh my god, I'm lagging at so many subs. Thank you! I'm just trying to figure out silly little foam stuff. Thank you, thank you. Liars Minion, thank you for the 2 months. Thank you. Oh, Eel! Eel Liars. I'm so sorry for butchering that, but thank you so much. Thank you, thank you. Okay, I think 6 isn't too thick. I think that's pretty good. I think it's pretty okay. Which means I would probably layer 2 or 3 of this thickness. So let me trace that pattern. Although, you know what? I should cut this out because I'm not gonna need to trace the red part, because I think the red part is gonna be separate. So I'm gonna cut it. It's already September though. That is true. But I also have some really cool merch that's gonna be going away really soon. And you guys will get something back for the merch. I can't do much except thank you and cry for the subs. That's all I can do. And just stream my silly little streams. That's all I know how to do. No, I'm not exactly planning on getting this done for any specific event. However, it would be really cool to be able to wear it to Anime Expo next year. If I'm able to get it done. But I don't want to set a deadline for this because I really want it to be my best work in like all ways, as if I were to compete in it. So I'm just gonna be no stress, going at my own pace, because every other cosplay I've made has been under a time, maybe not time crunch, but time restraint, and I don't want to put that pressure on myself for something that's, you know, like a fun little project for us all to experience together. Hold on, let me just trace the rough shapes out really quick. I'll do 2 for now, and then if I think it needs to be a little bit thicker, I'll do a 3rd one. Okay. Get these out of the way. Save this. Okay. Oh my goodness, she takes up so much room with her cannon there. Okay. Ba ba ba. Ba ba ba. Just getting my tools. Con Crunch cuts down on the quality. True. And I don't want to have to cut any corners. Make any sacrifices. Mm-mm. There's a bit of like a line here. I'm gonna trace on this side. I don't know what that is. Trying to flatten it out as best as I can. So you'll kind of see what I'm trying to do in a second, if you have not yet. Trust me, it'll all come together. So if we all come together, you know what to do. We all come together just to sing we love you. And if we all come together, you know what to do. We all come together just for you. Castle gonna be fire? Hell yeah. You know it. Okay. Just making sure the pattern doesn't move around too much. Taping it down. Especially at like the really thin pieces, like these like little corners. Has the tendency to move around a lot. That's honestly why I get so much of this Sharpie on my hands, because I'm pressing my fingers down on the wet Sharpie. And then it gets everywhere. But it's for a good reason. And that's part of the reason why, yeah, see, I'm like getting it all on my pattern too right now. That's part of the reason why I don't have my nice nails for crafting streams, especially recently, because this build is going to destroy anything I try to put on my nails. Because we're going to be working with paints and glues and sanding instruments and cutting tools. And also, if I were to hold down, you know, this pattern onto the foam and my nails were to stab into the foam, those marks are not gonna get out of the foam. So I definitely don't want to ruin it. Okay. I'm gonna peel the tape off and fill in these. Carefully peel the tape off here. Trying not to move the pattern too much. Bada bing, bada boom. There we go. There's the first piece all traced on there. Trading the hand beauty for project beauty, a noble endeavor. Right? That's why I was a little nervous to break the immersion that way, because, you know, like, having the accurate hands makes it cool and fun, immersion wise. But like at the end of the day, I just want to make the cool stuff, and I want to show you guys how I make the cool stuff. And I cannot properly make the cool stuff to the best of my ability if my creative limbs are restrained. Happy Clumpin'! Thank you for 13 months. Thank you. You want to ask me something? You can just ask it in chat. Bonus points if it's related to crafting. They were a vibe, but craftsmanship demands certain compromises. Yeah, unfortunately. I'm glad you guys get it, though. Yeah, this isn't even my final form. Zoop. Zoop. Be careful on this thin piece. Also, if the paper shifts and then you get Sharpie inside where you want to cut out, sometimes it can be difficult to tell where exactly you're supposed to cut if your lines are too thick. So you want to be careful. I want the cuts to be as accurate as you can get them. Like that. Boom. Bada bing, bada boom. This playlist is a vibe too. If Mama and Pop Wolf wanted to cosplay with me, honestly, when I was younger, I really wanted my mom to cosplay. But she was content just being the bag lady, the con mom. So I did get her a t-shirt that says con mom on it and it has like this cute little description of like what a con mom does. And it's really sweet. So every time we would go to a con, she would wear that shirt. But I will say, every time I competed, before she had that shirt, every time I would compete in a cosplay craftsmanship competition, without fail, every time my mom would match my color scheme, or she would match whatever she's wearing that day to the color scheme of my cosplay. So, you know, if I was cosplaying myself, for example, then she would probably wear a red shirt and like black pants or something. And sometimes she even like does her hair in a similar way to the character. Because like one time I cosplayed a character with a braid. So my mom braided her hair. Or if it's like a ponytail. So she kind of like mirrors the character I'm dressed up as, but like casually. She is really supportive. I'm really lucky.
Hey, hey.
Hi.
Birthday was yesterday.
Hey,
Just
hope it was a
got
good
home from
one.
work. Just saw the teaser trailer of Tricky, Vienna, and Yuzu. I'm excited.
And then the one from Bao, she posted yesterday. I know what it is, but no spoilers. No spoilers. I've got my own big crazy projects coming up really soon. Hillborn, thank you for the tier 3. Thank you. Thank you for 6 months. Thank you. Hype train incoming. No way.
Hello, Sinder and chat. I
Hiya.
was curious and not sure if anyone ever suggested this before, but since the mods have the sword icon, and we're the Pyro Pups, should we have a mod mascot like that one legendary Pokemon wolf with the sword in its mouth?
I don't think it's necessary. Because the mods are still just chill guys, just like you. They just help keep the community safe and comfy. Hawkeye, thank you for 6 months. Thank you for starting the hype chain. Just making a green pop. Just a little guy. Wolfborn, thank you so much for all the bits. Thank you. Okay, time to get back in the groove with foam cutting. I'm going to do a test piece just to make sure my blade is still sharp. Really sharp enough for what I need it to be. Oh, that's beautiful. Oh, that's really nice. Oh, look how clean and smooth that cut is. Damn. Yeah, that's still pretty nice. Hell yeah, I'll take it.
Crafting question. Would you recommend contact cement for any size foam project, or is hot glue good enough for something like a shoulder piece?
Entirely depends. Hot glue is great for certain things, but if you are connecting 2 foam pieces together, I would always recommend contact cement, especially like a shoulder piece. If, for example, you know, you're gluing them together like this and there's a bit of a curve in them, definitely contact cement, because hot glue is just going to add bulk between your seams, and it dries at a certain temperature because you have to wait for it to cool down. So you'd have to hold it in the spot and wait for it to cool. And it might add lumps and bumps like in a curve of a shoulder. Also, if the environment near you gets too hot, it's going to reactivate the hot glue and it's going to melt and potentially melt apart your armor, which is something you don't want. You do have to be careful with contact cement though, because it is highly toxic. But, you know, you can experiment with both and see. They make tiny little bottles of contact cement just so you can, you know, try it out and play around. You don't need a giant ass paint can like what I use. But yeah, the chemical bond is definitely stronger and more durable. You know, if you were to accidentally, I don't know, run into somebody, or if somebody would accidentally bump into you, it would be a lot more durable and less likely to break apart. So I hope that helps. But honestly, you know, I know a lot of people that still really love using hot glue. They don't like the stinky contact cement, and that's totally okay too. It's really personal preference, or like how exactly you want your pieces to hold up over time. Yo, Dirty Dan with another 25 gift subs. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. That means so much. You've been so generous today. Really, really appreciate it. Okay. Just trying to line these up.
What about rubber cement?
Rubber cement? It's not as strong. At least the kind that I've used in the past. But maybe it was like, I don't know, baby rubber cement. 1 week left for? I'm so glad you asked. Only 1 week left for my Gamer Subs merch. Yo! Here you go. Bada bing, bada boom. All of my really cool merch. So, cool t-shirt, hoodie, sweatpants that'll match, desk mat, 2 acrylic standees with wagging tails. They look like this. Isn't that so freaking cool? Look, there's 2 of them. There's the other one. Whoa! Only a week left and they're going to be gone forever. My model's lagging so bad. And of course, my lovely waifu cup that I'm holding in my hand. And also on the other side of the screen. Holy model chugging. Yeah! It's worth it. It's worth it. Thank you for the anonymous gift sub. Thank you, thank you. Okay. It's go time. That was so clean. Oh, look at that. Look at that. It's so clean. It's so clean. It's so smooth. It doesn't look smooth because you can see like the tiny little bits of Sharpie that kind of look bumpy. But I swear it's so freaking smooth. It's so good. Ugh. Viking Taco! Thank you for the 20 gift subs! Holy shit. You guys are going ham with this hype train. Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. I guess September has started, hasn't it? Shadowstalker, thank you for 19 months. Thank you so much. I'm currently making Nihlister's wing. I don't know if there's like a PNG of her without her dragon head here. Because I can't, it's hard to see what's going on with all the fucking spikes and shit. But it's the wing like coming out of her shoulder. She doesn't have one on the other side. It's just that one wing. Just that one side. That's what I'm making. My birthday is probably going to be insane. Yeah, because I've got a really cool stream that day. Yeah! You betcha. Yo, level 9 hype train already? Thank you guys so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
It begins, and it's still technically August.
Yeah, it's not even September yet. What are y'all doing? Okay, I think I'm gonna cut some of these with the blade, and then I'm gonna cut the narrower pieces with I think just the scissors. Don't shame me. Actually, maybe I should use this one. How sharp is this blade? Very sharp. I'm gonna use it. Okay. Beautiful. Beautiful. Mm-hmm. Hell yeah! Atticus, thank you for the cheer. Cosplay is going pretty good, so we're not too far in. But let me show you. Oh, this is a great song. So I'm cutting out some foam pieces. Safety first. So this piece is cut from. Boop. Yeah, this. You can't really tell. It's the wing, the little wing piece. The one that's kind of shaped like this with the little red bit here. So I'm working on the wing. This is... Here, hold on. It takes up so much room. So much room. Here. We got 1, 2, 3, 4. See? See? Kind of. The wing. Yeah. Alright. Yeah. Garrett, thank you for getting us up to Ebiko. Thank you so much. Guile Brown, thank you for the 11 months. Thank you. You got 2 cups. Thank you so much. Thank you. Experienced cosmaker in action. Listen, I've just done this a couple times. So I'm currently cutting this piece of... Ignore all the spiky bits. It's just the wing portion here. That has like the spiky... See, it's kind of like a wing. It's on her shoulder. Booby jump scare! But yeah, so I'm working on that right now. So I traced out this shape onto some 6mm high density EVA foam. And I'm just working my way. I cut these, I'm going to be cutting these out twice, layering them up. So I'll have a bit of a thick piece that I can work with and add the details on. And then go from there.
Imagine if Sinder mixed herself with Nihlister in that cosplay. Actually,
there's been a bunch of people making fan art of that, which has been so cool. You guys are so creative and talented. Wearing the mesh with it, I'm going to be making it as screen accurate as I possibly can. And thank you for the level 9 hype train. Spartan, thank you for the 1,000 bits. Thank you so much. Thank you. Okay, I'm going to use my scissors for this part. Just because, so here, let me give you an explanation. Because part of these streams are learning, imagination. Okay, so if I were to use any of my blades, really, doesn't matter what blade, if you were to cut something this narrow, the more likely it is to bend as you're cutting it. So even if you have the straight edge cutting it, it's highly likely that this is going to be moving just because there's not more material keeping it in place to make it sturdy. So it's very, very flexible and flimsy. So if I were to cut this, even if I started this way and cut down, if you cut starting on the edge, it's going to pinch a tiny bit. So we want to avoid the pinching, and we also want to avoid the stretching and pulling going from the opposite direction. So that's why I'm just going to take my scissors, just because this is so thin, right down here. You see how thin this is? You want to be really, really careful with your blades. And then I'm also just going to cut in here because it's still very narrow, like right in here. And we are still going to be adding an extra piece of foam on top for some structure. But just so that way we at least have these cuts nice and clean. Although it looks like that is not a good sign. It's just because of the way this foam was cut. So I might end up just making this a bit of a, you know, flat edge, which is fine. It's always finicky working with really narrow pieces of foam, especially when you get this thick, because there's a chance that there could be a little bit of a bevel over or under, which is okay. It's okay. No, there's not gonna be a test. I don't know where you guys are getting that from, but I don't know. Maybe I should have a test. You saying you want one? So like this cut, we've got plenty of room to avoid potential pinching of the foam. Just gotta line it up right so I can get my cut straight. Okay. Paper on my desk tomorrow. No. I'm not like that. Being graded. I would never do that. This is supposed to just be learning. And I feel like the best way to learn something is to not have that pressure of some sort of like graded assignment.
What is the best way to start making cosplays and love the playlist?
Thank you. And thank you for all the biddies. I would say the hardest part to start is picking a character or like an armor design, for example, if you're cosplaying something like Monster Hunter. Honestly, that's the hardest part. And the best place to actually
The
start.
test is after Cinder finishes, we have to make our own Nihlister cosplay.
No. No way, I wouldn't do that to you guys. But honestly, YouTube is such a good resource nowadays because back in my day, we didn't have, you know, a lot of tutorials that are currently out there. And depending on what you want to make, I would highly recommend checking out Kamui Cosplay. She actually has a bunch of books on her website. She's got a store with a bunch of digital books. You can just download them digitally. And there's a book on almost everything you could think of for cosplay. Sewing, LEDs, painting, armor making. And she also has patterns for the cosplay she makes and just generic patterns if you want to make like a suit of armor. There's like a dozen different styles of armors for gauntlets and breastplates and knee armor and thigh armor and all kinds of stuff. Hats, horns, masks. She's got
I
so
love seeing
so
you
many
crafting
patterns.
streams. They remind me of my collage days doing furniture, interior design, watching everyone figure out how to make a shape in a new material and winging it as we go.
Yeah, it's kind of what I'm doing. So we got that. Probably should have traced it mirrored, but it's not too late. Yeah, I think it would be better. I think it would be better if I did trace it flipped around. Just because then there's like the nice surface of the foam on the back side and also the front. Yeah, I should have thought about that. Why didn't I think about that? Oh, there's a bit of a bevel there. Oh, I didn't mean to do that, but that's okay. I can fix that. Okay. I'm just gonna do this. Oh, I can't line it up perfectly because it's gonna... Oh, no. Nah, screw it. I'm just gonna cut it out. So here's my reasoning, right? It's gonna just be a nightmare to have two separate lines of patterns on one foam piece. And I'm just gonna cut it out anyway because this is still kind of like a test to see if this even works. So I think it's okay. I think it's okay if it doesn't look perfect because these foam pieces are small enough where it won't be as big of an issue if it doesn't work out the way I want it to. I got plenty. Thank you, artist.
I modify action figures and relatively recently got into resin work and custom silicone molding.
Ooh.
My current craft is experimental for me because I'm working on my first custom doll. Guess who's the model? Like what you said earlier about paper stencils.
No way.
I used dollar store brand figures and now dolls as my base because I'm always experimenting and a mistake wouldn't be as big a loss.
Exactly. Super, super smart thing to do. Good job. Okay. And the reason I'm using my smaller blade for this particular
What's the best way to
segment-
take measurements? It's something that can be cosplay related, but also very practicable for other things. Especially when they talk about the measurement of taking of your head, chest, or waist size.
So, I would always recommend measuring in centimeters. I'm sorry, fellow Americans, but listen, centimeters, you get more accuracy, okay? It's like the fucking, I don't know, 4/16 of an inch or 3/16 of it. It's like, what the fuck? What the fuck does that mean? Like, then you gotta fucking count the tiny little notches. It's so fucking annoying. Anyway, I would invest in a cloth or fabric measuring tape. Let me show you. Where's mine? So instead of using a tape measure, you want to use one that's like this. It's flexible, it's soft, and if you want to measure something, this one has inches and centimeters. If you want to measure something, you can just, you want to measure how wide your wrist is, right? And then when you actually go to measure it, what I like to do is measure like 1 unit from the edge, because the metal edge usually isn't always accurate because you don't know how far off this could be, right? Because technically, the 1 inch mark is somewhere right here, but or the 1 centimeter. Sorry, the 1 centimeter mark is right here, but is this exactly 1 centimeter? Or is this exactly 1 centimeter where we can actually see? So I always start on the first visible unit, which is 2 in this case. And so if I were to measure my wrist, you don't want to measure it tight. You want to make sure there's breathing room and some wiggle room, okay? You don't want it to be crazy. Plus, if you're working with something thicker like foam, it's obviously going to be bulkier, and you want to take that into account too, so it's not too thick. So what I like to do is to start on like the 2nd centimeter. So number 2. And then I just wrap it around. So, let me just make sure I can see what I'm doing. So if I'm measuring it starting with the 2nd centimeter, I'm landing about on the 18th centimeter, but because I started on 2, I need to subtract 1. So the correct measurement would be 17 centimeters in circumference. Does that make sense? That makes sense? Because the 2 is here and it lines up
Cinder 6
almost
noted,
to the
and how
18.
many cheeseburgers is that?
Let me see. 2 to 18. Maybe like 1.5 cheeseburgers, depending on how big your cheeseburger is. Oh, that's quite small. Not good. Just distracting you guys. Don't play it. I don't want to fucking know. I don't want to know. I don't want to know. I don't need to know. Nope. Nope, nope, nope. Noah, thank you for 9 months. Happy sub, baby. Virgil, thank you for 26 months. Holy shit. Thank you, thank you. Rex Casters, thank you for jump scare. Thank you for 8 months. King of Cookie, thank you for 3 months. Thank you. Wow, that's so cool. Isn't that so cool? That just happened on my stream. So crazy. Anyway. Surely that won't actually jump scare me one of these days. Surely. Oh. That was a little off. That's okay. Because I'm going to be dremeling every single edge of this cosplay. Eventually. Snip, snip. I know I said I found a way to Dremel a little more cleanly, but I'm still nervous to do it on stream. Because I really don't want to make a big mess. Like all over my keyboard and my stream deck and my monitors and my phone. My 3DO mic is also over here. I really don't want to ruin any of that stuff. Okay. Just gonna make sure this is nice and clean. Beautiful. Okay. Okay. It's a little off because of the angles. Might have been a little bit better to have them mirrored. Because then these would end up lining up into a point like that. Okay, I'm just gonna do it. I'm just gonna trace one more. Just one more. Because I was like, oh, I don't have to worry about like flipping them and mirroring them because there's only one. You know, I don't have to make two like on either side. But I know I'm gonna regret not doing it if I don't do it. Another one. I don't know where to... I'm trying to use up the least amount of foam as I possibly can. We'll do it down here. You guys are the best. I wanna fly away. Sing it with me! I wanna fly away! You guys are fun. Okay. No, stay. Sammy, thank you for the sub. Welcome. Morgan, thank you for 26 months. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Just cleaning. Cleaning up the foam. I do keep my foam scraps though, because you never know when you need a tiny little piece. Or for applying contact cement. Okay. Okay, okay. Make sure this is flipped around. Just like that. You know the drill. We tape. We trace. And we prage. Like dad's saving their extra pieces of wood. Listen, they come in handy, okay? Also, dink donk! If my sources are correct, there's a new YouTube video on the main channel, a brand new highlight video. So make sure to add it to your watch later, or even watch it at the same time if you're crazy enough. Thank you for sharing the link in chat, Red. Thank you. Go check it out. Go check it out. Check it out. Check it out. Check it out. Go watch it. I think you guys are really gonna like this one. Yeah, watch it or Kaiser's gonna cry. You wouldn't want to be the reason why he's so sad, would you? I can't believe you'd be that mean. I'd be so disappointed in you. You'll like the intro? Wait, what's the intro? I don't remember what I did. I don't remember. I don't remember what I did. Did I say anything? Oh, there isn't one? Shut up. No wonder I don't remember. Oops. My bad, just girly things. The hellhound gets a little quirky. Don't blame me. I got a lot going on. And it's hard to remember to do intros for collabs, because then I feel awkward doing it in front of my friends. Don't blame me. I'm really excited to watch it. I just trust Kaiser because he's freaking funny and he always does really, really good stuff. So I'm always watching my highlight videos for the first time, like when you guys do. I usually don't watch it till it goes up. Make a low budget Cinder cosplay and do it yourself. Dude. I'd reimburse you for that. Just saying. Just saying. If you did. Please. Okay, time to cut. It will cut. Oh shit. Oh shit. Why did that happen? Well. Okay. That's fine. Okay. It's mostly flat except for that one obvious bump. But that's okay. It's always something. Always something. But that's okay. Alright. Let me... Maybe I want to use this side of the ruler. Did I? I don't remember. Let's try this again. Did you see that? It did the pinching. It pinched. I was a little too close to the edge there. Not the pinching. Did you see it? Okay, this will be a little more chill. Don't do what I just did. Okay? I know some of y'all were scared for my thumb, but don't worry. I know what I'm doing. You just gotta trust me, bro. The source just trusts me. Yeah, do what I say, not what I do. Thank you. Thank you. Someone gets it. Very nice. Okay. Just gotta cut this a little more. Fire! Not terrible, but also not the best. But that's okay. Okay. Which one's the better of the two? I think it's this one. Dinos! Let me try this one. That one fits a little bit better, but I think this one will look better overall. Yeah, because it's a little too big because of the way that the cups
Just
got
bought a tub of the
messed up.
limited anime girl thigh and decided to get a second Cinder cup. Should I get a third?
No! Thank you so much! Thank you, thank you. Dino Gods. Alright, so yeah, just gonna have to Dremel that a little bit more, unfortunately. But let's yoink her. Oh. You shouldn't be moving. Stop that. You should be moving. Hello? There we go. Like that. And that, of course, the one that's on the front is the one that's jacked up. That's fine. I gotta sand it down anyway. So then it's gonna be this thick with the bevel. Maybe I want one more actually. Maybe I should keep this one just for like the thickness, the added thickness. I'm not sure. Maybe like 4mm in between them. Because I'm going to be sanding the edges to give it a bit of a curve anyway. And then this little piece that we cut out, this is where the red piece was. This is also going to be made out of a different piece of foam and glued in separately. So that way I can get the nice little Dremel on this edge on the inside, and then I can just, boop, pop that in. So that'll be very nice. Very, very nice. Okay. Oh, also, later down the line, I'm going to be cutting out these little notches so that I can trace that onto where they belong onto the foam. Yeah, it is going to take a while, but I knew that from the get-go. So then we have this piece on the bottom, and then this piece that kind of sticks out. You kind of see the vision? Kind of. This little tiny piece there. And then this one actually kind of partially covers the edge there. Ba-ba-bum! Ba-ba-da-bum! You see it? You seeing the vision? So, I'm not sure. Actually, let me pull this back up. I'm not sure. I'm going to be looking at a more zoomed in version. I think... Here, let me pull up the 3D model for you guys to see. So the little red portion, it's still pretty thick. So I think maybe I should also make it out of the same thickness of foam. So this tiny little sliver. Let me also hide this. So the good thing about saving foam scraps is that we can use it for this kind of thing. And I even have like a flat edge here that I can use as one less edge to cut, which is gonna be huge. What song is this? This doesn't seem like symphonic metal. Opera? There we go. Yeah. Okay. My Sharpie. And I'm just going to... Actually, let me tape this down. Like that. And I trace. And I trace. And then the top. Boom! Boom, boom, boom! Hey, what? Wait, is Twitch being fucky again with the fucking streams? Are you kidding me? Yes? Really? What the hell? Twitch! Why are you so stinky? Stinky, stinky Twitch. Alright, let me slide this down. So I'm gonna want another one of these. And like the same size and shape. I know, I don't know what happened. I'm still here, I'm
your
still
stream
chilling.
died, but it got better.
Don't you hate when they die, but they get better anyway? That's like the third time that's happened to me in like what? 2 weeks? What's up with that? Crimson, thank you for the sub. Welcome. Yeah, like a couple weeks. I don't know why. Why? Why, Twitch? Okay. So, I'm gonna flip this.
Oh good.
Like I have
Stream
been.
just started. Glad I'm not late.
Shut up!
Thanks, Twitch.
Hold on, give me 1 second, give me 1 second. Ba 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 ba. Okay. Twitch just hates me. I'm so sad. Because then sometimes it like kicks people out who were lurking and just like vibing. And it just ruins the vibe and it makes me sad. Super Kaizo, thank you for the 5 months. Thank you. Blaze, thank you for the tier 2 resub. Thank you, thank you. Okay. So, same thing. I luckily have a super clean straight edge to just trace the straight edge from. And all this was made on my scrap fabric. Oh my goodness, I'm so used to saying that. My scrap foam. My scrap foam. So that's why I always want to keep it, just in case.
I hate living in Australia because you started at 3 a.m.
You don't have to
for
keep
me.
that.
It's so annoying, the time difference. Cinder 6 heart.
Well, I usually stream at different times, depending. But I don't want you to stay up too late just to catch my stream. Sucky Valley, thank you for 4 months. Thank you. Grey Wolf, thank you for the tier 1. Welcome. Thank you so much. All right, so I'm just gonna use my scissors to cut these out. But I am going to cut the long side first. Right here. Gotta be careful about that bevel. Just the music. Okay, so now we have this angular looking piece. And this should line up so the thinner side is at the top. So then when these are all glued together and sanded and such. Oh no, it's like this. It's like this. Oh, it's like that. It's like that. Yo, it's gonna add so much dimension. Maybe I'll just do 2. If I kind of like stagger the layers a little bit. Ooh, dimensionality. Yeah. Yeah, that's gonna look hella cool. Okay. Gotta be careful with these really long cuts with the scissors, because it's really easy to accidentally bevel the foam with the scissors, because it's easy to angle them in a way that you do not want them to be angled, just like on accident. Okay, are these... No, these are the same. This is the mirrored one. Yes. Okay. So I think I might want this one. So you really got to be careful with this one. 2's the way to go. Looks nice. Well, let's see. Let's see. Super careful. Focus. All right. So these will join like so. If these are all lined up, then these will kind of glue in like that, if it's just the 2 in the middle. And then there's some, ooh! Oh, there's gonna be like a little bit of a lip for that dimension. Like, you see how it kind of looks like it has that little bit of indentation? Whoa! No, all these pieces aren't glued together right now, of course, so they're kind of falling apart on me. But looky! Yo, that's gonna be so cool. Ah! So precise. I try to be, at least as much as I can. Yeah, this is what we're making. We're doing the little wing piece. The wings. But I also don't want to mistake these for scrap pieces. So what I'm going to do... I don't have an extra bag. I do have this bag, though. I literally have just like a bunch of pieces that we've cut out in the past that are a little tiny and could potentially get lost easily. So I will be keeping these in a very safe place. I'm also going to keep this one just in case, but I will mark this one with like a tiny X, because that's not quite the one I need, because I think the other one works better. Yeah, just with craft materials, all just foam and knives. So I usually keep little bags just in case I need to come back to something later on and I don't accidentally throw away a piece of foam that I cut out to look nice. Same thing with my paper patterns. I also have another like large gallon zip bag to keep some of the pattern pieces in, especially if they're smaller, so I don't lose them and so they don't get like bent too badly. Like, for example, let me put the knee back in here. I took the knee out, so let me just throw it back in here. Empire. Let's see, I got another bag just with my paper patterns, so that way everything stays organized, especially when you start cutting things up. It's very easy to lose different pieces that you cut up depending on how detailed of a piece you're working on. So I like to keep everything organized. And if you have a really large build, like we're kind of just getting started on Nihlister, but you know, if you have a very intricate, you know, bracer, right? You can have a bag just with your bracer patterns. Or if you have a really complicated breastplate, you can have a pattern just with your breastplate patterns. Or you can have a bag with just your breastplate patterns. Soda Pop! Thank you for the raid! Hi everyone! Welcome raiders! Allo, allo! My name is Sinder. I'm the Hellhound VTuber. Oh, woo! Today, I am currently making some progress on my big cosplay build. I'm working on Nihlister from the game Nike. This is what she looks like. Boop. Hold on, she's really big right now. Sorry, titty jump scare! Boobies! Woo! This is Nihlister. Bum bada bum bada bum. So this is what I'm making. Thank you! I'm really excited. I've got a background as a cosplayer. I've been doing it for 11 years, and I compete on a master level for craftsmanship competitions at conventions and stuff. So I know a lot about this, and when I'm crafting, I'm always welcome to answer questions or give advice wherever I can in terms of any kind of like creative crafting project, really. But it's usually mostly cosplay related. And I do have a cosplay channel in my Discord server for you guys to also share your progress and just like really good cosplays that you enjoy in general there. So currently, so Nihlister has this like wing, like just like on one side. It's like a little armored wing. But yeah, anyway, that's what we're doing. I was explaining to the raiders and I went off on a tangent just because I'm so passionate about this and I could yap about cosplay forever. But you guys, if you're heading out, I hope you have a good one. If you're still here, take care. Thank you so much for coming in and saying hi. And if you're sticking around, this is what we're doing. But I hope you had a great stream, Soda. Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you. Making a little bit of a mess here. Oh, wait, I wanted to keep this one. I forgot to put it in my little bag to keep all my tiny little pieces safe. So normally I would glue the pieces together after I cut them, but I use contact cement as an adhesive and it is very toxic to breathe in, and I stream from a basement which has very poor ventilation, and you want to use that kind of glue in a very well ventilated area, which I do not currently have unless I'm visiting my parents. So I'm gonna have to bring all these pieces with me when I go visit them next time. But yeah, so we're doing this little wing piece. It's kind of complicated, but essentially, here, I actually have the whole thing. So I make my own blueprints from Adobe Illustrator. So this is kind of like a line art version of what we're working with all the transparent layers. So this piece is the little support structure that holds each of the wing segments on. And then we've got the big wing piece, and then the one that kind of goes on top, and then this little tiny one, which I was just working on and cutting out of foam, like that. And then this little bottom one. So you can kind of get an idea of how they all come together. I wanted to keep this pattern intact because it shows where they overlap a tiny bit. Like these two pieces intersect here, and this one kind of covers this one a tiny bit. So I wanted to keep that. And also where the harness support thing kind of supports the wings underneath here. But obviously, the live 2D art isn't made in a way that can translate to real life, so I might need to adjust this under structure support piece, and it will have to extend a little bit further so that it can actually sit on my back a little bit more comfortably. Yeah, kind of like more of a reference point. And so this was my first draft of the pattern, and what we were working on earlier was just patterning out like the wing blade segments, I suppose, if you want to call them that. So I started with this one on the bottom there, and this is my final paper pattern in 3 dimensions, so it curves, and then I'm probably just going to put another flat piece on the bottom, but I'll just do that when I cut it out of foam. And I like to make these patterns first because if I mess it up, I am only wasting paper, and I can always recycle that instead of wasting foam that's a little bit more expensive. So yeah, want to learn pattern making? Honestly, it's one of the most tedious, frustrating, and time-consuming parts of making anything, the patterns, but it's really satisfying when you do get it. Nani, thank you for the Prime sub. Welcome. Very Viking. Thank you so much for the... What? Stop. I can't believe you interrupted me. Thank you for the 9 months. Thank you so much, Baranor. Thank you. The design step is the brain cell burning phase. Yeah. And we also have a 3D reference of her chibi model. It's the only 3D models they have in game. And this is like her little wing that I've been working on. Yeah. So you can kind of see that bottom segment having that curve. This one right here. This is the part of the wing that I'm showing off right now. And you see it kind of curves. And obviously the proportions are different on the chibi model, but that's what we've got for now. And then I did just cut out these out of foam because this bottom piece and this top piece look very rounded and curved, at least in the 3D. And then these two are more geometric. So I kind of just layered up foam and I'm going to sand the edges down to round them out a little bit more. But I think that's just a simpler and easier way to make the same kind of shape without actually having to pattern this one around a curve. So, because these two are essentially done in terms of the pattern work that I need to do, I'm going to set these aside. And now that we've done the smaller pieces, I'm going to tackle the big ones. Sleeping Night, thank you for 8 months. Thank you so much. Thank you. Gotta go now. Take care. Have a good one. Thanks for hanging out. Okay, so do I want to tackle the big one? Dragon Head Articulated? Probably not, just because of the weight. It's probably going to be pretty heavy already, let alone any other pulley mechanism. And also leverage. It'll probably be hard with the leverage too. However, it will be lighting up and it will have fog machines inside. And I know now I'm like, oh geez, yeah, we don't want it to be too heavy, but still adding all the LEDs and the fog machines inside. I just think that might be cooler than having them move. To have them light up and all the, like, the special effects on them. Okay, I'll do the next biggest one. Hold on, I've got a picture pulled up so I can kind of see it up close. Okay, I think I'm going to do the same thing that I did with this pattern because, like I said, the top and bottom are more curved.
For those who didn't see him not spoiling it.
Thanks. Yeah, don't forget, new YouTube video. Make sure that you go add it to your watch later. I think you guys are really going to like it. Hey, Papa Ma! It's going good. We're working on the little wings. The wing pieces right now. Making them into 3D shapes from flat paper. Whoa! Look at that dimension! Whoa! Look at the difference. All right. I'm going to get my patterning paper. Which is this giant... It's like the metal sheet that goes wow, 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 wow. All right, so to make the pattern, what San Japan is, it is an anime convention in San Antonio, Texas. It's a very, very good con. It's in a very beautiful area. I don't know why my hands look blue now. It's like the contrast with the yellow paper and the green cutting mat. It's just so ugly. It's so ugly. Let me see. There's my pen. So like last time, I want to trace these. Like this. RM Little B, thank you for the sub. Welcome. HGV List, thank you for the 4 months. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. All right, and I'll tape this side too. And one more. One more tiny little piece. I just don't want the pattern shifting and moving around too much while I try to tape it down. Or while I try to trace around it, rather. That should be good. I'm gonna look blue for a while. Mellow Ever, thank you for 4 months. Thank you so much. Okay. Oh, my scissors. I almost knocked it over. Am I turning into a cat? I'm knocking stuff over. I'm so clumsy. I'm a clumsy girl. All right. I usually like to rotate when I trace these, but I won't really be able to because of how big this paper is. Instead of Flare, thank you for the tier 1. Welcome. Thank you so much for the sub. Thank you. Okay. Like that. And like that. And it's kind of got this funky shape going on. Oh, that's like a different cutout piece. So I might end up cutting that out completely from the final design of the base shape. Because all the little extra bits and details on top can always be added later, and they don't necessarily need to be included in our just like base structured pattern. And that's a piece of tape that I forgot about. I could barely see it. It's hiding. Nick the King, thank you for 10 months. Thank you. All right. That's good. I'm just going to slowly peel up the tape and go over the parts of the pattern that were being blocked by the tape. Weltzer, thank you for 12 months. Thank you for a whole year. All right. There's still some stuck. That's fine. Okay. So we want this to curve, and it's got to be a bit of a bigger curve than the one on the bottom. So I'm going to add extra space. And we want this space between the pattern pieces to accommodate for the 3D space that it needs to wrap around. We need to accommodate the 3rd dimension. I want to keep it pretty straight. Good enough. Good enough. Certain age you can start VTubing at? Research purposes and advice. Good question. I really don't think so. I mean, I wouldn't recommend too young. However, I do know of some VTubers who kind of have their kids' input in the background. They're not like actively a VTuber themselves necessarily, but they do kind of have like their own little character design. My streams are 18 plus. However, that's not to say that, you know, someone younger can't be a VTuber, because there's really young YouTubers. And what's the difference of having somebody who's young having a Minecraft channel versus somebody who's young and still remaining anonymous, which technically is safer to do on the internet than showing your face. So I think that's totally fine as long as, you know, I mean, there's always risks with, you know, making things on the internet, especially nowadays. But honestly, you know, I think it's okay, but just not in my community. Yeah, I know. Kids on the internet is always a little questionable because they're very impressionable. But, you know, I feel like as long as, like in those instances, because there are some VTubers who do have kids and they know the internet very well and they can at least sort of shield and protect them from things that they're not meant or supposed to see or be a part of in the online communities, which I think is the best case scenario. But I don't know about like a specific age. That's just my 2 cents. Very impressionable BRB gonna be internet fire hellhound. Got the cover one of the standees today from Gamer Subs. Thank you so much. I hope you have fun at the con. It's nice to see you in here. Cynthion, thank you for the 10 months. Thank you. Thank you so much. Agree at 16? I think that's a reasonable age. I feel like that's, you know, like, let's be real, we were all on the internet at that age already. The internet can be a scary place, especially when you put yourself out there making content. And I wouldn't want to see this kid just trying to have fun be subject to the dark side of the internet and the meanies on the internet. There's a level of internet safety that should be learned. Oh yeah, for sure. For sure. But it also boils down to the kinds of parents, too. It's a very, very difficult subject to talk about. Also because I don't have any experience with children. I just feel like most of it would be like common sense, you know? Good support network. Yeah, exactly. And it's like, you know, the average internet content creator lifespan is what, 10 years? So if we're going to want more and upcoming content creators to watch in the future, yeah. Yeah, don't recommend it, but in practice there's a lot of them. Yeah, exactly. Bam, ba, bam. Okay, mark the top and bottom. And then the little angle. I think that'll be okay. Just in case though. Just in case. Alrighty, so I know this looks a little weird. It's a very weird shape right now, but just trust the process. Yeah, my birthday is coming up. Yeah, I'm a September baby. I'm a Virgo. Popzacha, thank you for 10 months. Spootsmake, thank you for 9 months. Thank you. Thank you, thank you. Alright, so I'm just gonna roughly cut this out because it'll make folding it a little bit easier. Okay, and I'm gonna try to find my center line. It's probably not gonna be exact because I don't have a ruler long enough Like around there-ish. Yo, I'm doing so good. Hey, yo. Okay, look at me cook. That's not bad. A meter long metal ruler? You want to see one? I have one. It's just too big because if I try to... It's going to hit my monitors and all my equipment back here. I do have one though. I've got two actually. One of them is here and one of them is at Mama and Papa Wolf's house. I'm gonna line it up this way. I'm gonna fold it on that center line. Nice. We fold it back the other way. So that way we can see our lines again. And then we cut it on the fold so that way it becomes perfectly symmetrical. Yeah. Angel of Destroying, thank you for 7 months. Thank you so much. I'm making these armored spiky wings. It's kind of like a wing off her shoulder. So we're doing the blade portions of the wing. Yeah. Yeah. Just want to fold this and flatten it down. Okay, this side is a little bit thinner. There's not as much paper on this side, so less likely to mess up. I'll have to come back to that because that's where the special curve is. And just for consistency's sake, I will be cutting out this little notch, but I'm pretty sure that can be separately added after. And it doesn't have to be in this exact pattern. This playlist is such a jam. It's just the epic and symphonic metal Spotify playlist. It's like one of the public playlists. Yeah, some people talk about like their like rising and setting sign and moon's lunar. I don't fucking know. I just know I'm a Virgo. Soldering and circuit boards. I haven't used circuit boards, but I have done soldering before. Yeah, I worked with LEDs in the past, and I will be using LEDs in this build for the giant dragon heads. There's going to be LEDs and smoke machines coming out of the barrels of the gun on the inside of their heads. Rah, 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 rah. So yeah. That's what I be doing. What's all that moon and sun mumbo jumbo? Hell, I don't know. Smoke machines, yeah. Okay. So these are gonna need darts. For sure. Okay. So we want to keep it I'll try this angle first. So I'm trying to get the right curves because this pattern has a slight curve on the two ends, and because we added all that thickness between the two halves of the pattern, we have to figure out where to cut it to get that curve, but we also don't want to make it longer. So I think this is going to be too harsh of a curve, so I'm going to... Yeah, I think that... Actually, that might not be too bad. Well, it might still be pretty good. Then if we tape it, it's going to have a little curve like that. But our actual pattern looks like this. He's got like little legs. And then I'm going to try to guess. That's why I marked this line where the very end of the pattern should be. So it should not be any longer than that line because we want to scale it to be wider. We don't want to scale it to be longer because then the proportions are going to be like all out of whack. So I don't want that to happen. Bum, bum, bum. Cracked? No. Okay, so this one has a sharper curve in it. So I think I'm just going to try. I mean, that's a sharper curve. Maybe it's too sharp. So let me round it out a little. Okay, and I'm gonna try, actually, before I tape these together, I'm going to round out the pattern. I'm gonna fold it back this way so we don't see any of the lines to distract us. I'm gonna try to round this out a little. Rounding, rounding. Because it has more of a round curvature to it. Whee! Loki! Thank you so much for 2 months! Thank you, thank you! Alright, so it's got more of a curve in it now. Curved. And then let me get my tape. And we line up our darts again. If I can, oh my goodness. Come on. You can do it. There we go. Kind of. It's easier to do this when you have contact cement because it instantly will glue down. On contact, because it's called contact cement. Close enough. Just to get the idea. Just got Nihlister in game. Let's fucking go. Hell yeah. They need to buffer. Okay, so that's the top. So now we have a bit of a curve in the top and bottom. It's a little thick, but we want it to cover that really wide surface. I think maybe we can give that a little less of a curve. More of like a subtle taper. And same with the other one, I think. I think. But yeah, just to kind of give you guys the idea. Also, you can barely tell that angle's there. So I might deepen that angle a little bit more to make it more prominent. Same thing on that side. But yeah, so this shows that we didn't cut down on the length, only the width, because we added all of that extra space between the two halves. Yeah, I know, she needs a buff so freaking bad. So bad. So let's try that. Banana Boat! Thank you for the tier 1! Welcome! Thank you so much! Alright. Yeah, I think I should... Well, you know what? Hold on. It's gonna be like this. It's gonna be really rounded out. That's not bad. It's really not that bad. This one is a bit too harsh of a curve, though. But it kind of has to be. It kind of has to be because then it would still be this thick, if that makes sense. Just because of how wide it needs to be. But I still think that looks alright. Because then you still have this kind of creased this way. It's got like a bit of a crease. Yo, wait, you see that? Yo, that shadow? Will you see that? Tell me that doesn't look like that. Hold on. Zoom! The very top one. Right? You got that crease? So I'm gonna have to probably sand or do like a reverse bevel on that. And then there's a little piece of foam that goes right here that makes this stick out a little. So I think I might just cut this straight because then it simplifies this pattern when I make it out of the base foam, and then I can always add that extra little tiny bit on top. So I'm going to cut that. Just makes it easier. Hey, Silver Hawkeye! Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Thank you. Welcome in. As a 3D dimensionality, yeah. So, I think that's fine. And these edges are a little thick. Let's look at the 3D model. Yellow. Where'd it go? Hello. Where did she go? I don't know why it's not working. Huh. Huh. Let me see. Let me try. La, la. Refresh. Hello. I don't know why my capture is not working anymore. Oh, there it goes. Oh, it just popped up. Okay, this is just rappy. Hold on, let me get Nihlister back up. And it's still cropped a little bit. Hold on. Meow, 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 meow. There she is. And let's put her on. You know what? This is fine. Although, let's pause her. There. Yup. Okay, I would like to focus on her. Let me try a different pose, maybe. Perfect. Wait, that one's so good. Oh my god, wait. Hold on. Let me move her over. Beautiful. Beautiful. So, here. Yeah, I think it's too thick there. And I might have just made my pattern a little too thick. I mean, honestly, that looks pretty good, thickness-wise. So, I think I just have to adjust the edges. Yeah, I think I just want to taper this in more, and I can fix that just by cutting the outside. Yeah, because I think it's too clunky on the top and bottom. Hold on. I'm sorry, it's a good song, but it's just so low energy. So yeah. I think that's pretty solid for a base. Especially because it's going to be attached. Yeah. Just trying to think of how to cut this. Here, I'm going to pull up a bigger picture on my other monitor to see what's happening. Yeah, it doesn't start to taper till like down there. All right, so I might end up making this a little shorter. Just so that way I can get like the shapes a little more correct. So what I'm going to do is only cut half of my pattern. Just in case I end up not liking it. It's a bit of curve. I think that's okay though. Hey, welcome in. I cut this at too much of a curve. Just straightening it out. Okay, I think this should be angled more. Like this. Yeah. And sometimes it just takes like winging winging the pattern, quite literally, because we are making wings, to get it to look the way you want it to. That's already looking like a better silhouette. Yeah. All right, so let me do the top. I think just about the same thing. Mm-hmm. Yeah, winging the wings. We're making little armored wings here. Okay, that's still a little bit too thick. Oh, I accidentally cut them both at the same time. I didn't mean to do that. Tiny bit more. Tiny bit more. All right, that definitely looks better. I'm just gonna go ahead and cut the other side, because I think this is gonna look good. Or at least it'll look closer to what I want it to look like. This way. Cut, cut, cut. Snip, snip, snip. Boop. Affen Soper, thank you for 3 months. Thank you. Okay, we're gonna retape this. Okay. Very nice. And then the other one. I've got a good feeling. Okay. Yep. And the moment of truth. I think that is better. Well, I am kind of smushing it a little. And then this one will also be like this. A little bit. To add that little dimension. Pretty close. Pretty close. We got a little curve. See the little curvy parts? And then when we look at the 3D, it doesn't really show the crease and the part up there, but it's still, oh my goodness. Please cooperate. You get the gist. Yeah. Ah, ba, ba, ba. Nice. So we can, like I did on the first one, the these other little pieces I can cut out of this paper and then just trace like a little stencil. So that'll be super easy. Cepheus Rook, thank you for 4 months. Thank you, thank you. All right. So now I've got 2 of these 3D patterns, and then these are kind of gonna like layer like that because we want them to at least cover a little bit. And I will be making a base, like a little bottom, to hide the inside because there's gonna be support structures in there that you're not gonna want to see because it's not gonna look very pretty. Let me clean up all my little shreds of paper that I've kind of been collecting over here. Oh. Come here. Nice. So we really only have 1 more big piece to pattern out. Which is this one? The big one! I'm getting a little sleepy. I don't know why. Maybe I'm just getting hungry. It's getting close to the dinner time. The big one. I'm sorry, I keep yawning. The stream did crash, but we have been going for 4 hours so far. Sleepy Saturday vibes? True. True, true. Alright, you know what? Hold on, let me... Give me a second. One second. Let me just do this. Bum bum bum. Turn off my floating TV for a second. I'm also gonna put my patterns into my pattern bag. Okay. Oh, wait, hold on. I gotta make sure my blade is put away so I don't accidentally cut something I'm not supposed to. Because I don't have a little cover for my little craft knife, my little X-Acto knife. So I put the dullest blade I've ever owned in upside down. Just so it's extra safe. Extra safe. Yeah. I guess I'm super sleepy. Maybe I drank too much gamer subs. Oh, hold on. Yeah. It's not just an hour. It's not just 1 hour. You guys are silly. I've been going for 4 hours, but Twitch cut out my stream feed again. Like, I was still live, but stream went down for a split second, and it restarted my stream. It wasn't on OBS. It's just Twitch being silly. Shortest stream ever. That's not true. All right. Well, I can at least send you guys off. Huh. Big yawn, my goodness. Wait a second. Wait. Hold on. Wait, Lily's still live. I'm usually never able to rate her. And she's playing Black Myth Wukong, which is what I've been wanting to get back into. It looks like she's in chapter 2 right now. Yeah, Miss Shy Lily. So let's go say hi to her and wish her luck with beating the bosses in the monkey game. Maybe I'll play it next week. Maybe. But I really appreciate you guys hanging out with me. I'm sorry it's a sleepy Saturday kind of a vibe, but we did get a little bit of crafting out of the way. Thank you so much for all the generosity and support today. It means a lot. I think my voice is also going a little bit. I've been doing a lot of yapping lately. I can feel a little something, so I don't wanna push myself too much, because this upcoming week is gonna be another huge week. I've got a bunch of collabs, a bunch of exciting streams, probably hand cam streams, if I can fit it in. But take care, you guys. Don't forget to join the Discord server to hang out with me and to get the schedule for each week. I will see you guys again super soon. Bye-bye. Have fun.